Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Andy's Shed Live. This is Series 7, episode number 2 for Sunday the 5th of January 2020. Happy New Year everybody. We have got into not just a new year but also a new decade, and we're going to be with you for quite some weeks to come, we hope, with much more from the shed, much more goings on. And somebody's wishing me a happy new year there. The phone's beeping at me as we go through already today. So yeah, it's going to be a busy one today. Just a short show today for you. I have a few things to tell you though, as always. If you want to see some back episodes of Andy's Shed Live, go and check them out through our website. It's here. The website is at andyshed.coldpress.net. That's andyshed.coldpress.net. That's the old web address there. Sorry, I'm just shuffling about on my chair here. andyshed.coldpress.net, and you'll see some back episodes of the show on there. Now that website has had a makeover quite recently, and we're just in the process of putting the back episodes up onto that website, but there is a special sort of area on that site for the live show that you'll see when you go onto it. It's very pictorial, it's very video based, that website is, so have a click around it and you'll find more and more of the back catalogue that we've had on YouTube that will be going over onto that site as time progresses. So that's over at andyshed.coldpress.net. And while we are giving you web addresses, remember, if you want to support the show, you can go here to patreon.com/AndyShed, as one person has actually done this week. So yeah, we do have our first patron. It's Paul. Hello there, Paul. And hello. Camera's a bit slow today. Hello there, Paul. Thanks very much for becoming a patron of the show. I hope you enjoy the content that is coming up over the next few weeks. The more of you who are patrons and the more of you who like and subscribe to us on YouTube, and also now on the library platform as well, where you can tip us using things called library credits, which you get for free for watching library, so it's no expense to you on the library platform. All of that help, whichever way you do it, it all helps with the channel. So give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a tip on library, and become a patron, as I say, at patreon.com/AndyShed, and join Paul over there. And as we hopefully get a few patrons, they will get sort of special perks about certain things in the near future, like seeing some content first before anybody else. Right, but for now, great reaction to the Contemporary video last week, where I was showing you the Contemporary phones and the difference between a British one and an American one. If you haven't seen it already, as I say, get on to andyshed.coldpress.net, or have a look through the YouTube channel or the library channel. We are Andy's Shed. We are at Andy's Shed on library, by the way. So if you go onto library and go at Andy's Shed, you should find our stuff on there. I'm just getting a bit tied up down here. I've got wires everywhere today. Another thing that I've done recently, I don't know if I told you this last week or not, I can't remember if I mentioned it. I've bought a metal detector. If you're into metal detecting, I've bought a Nocta Macro Simplex. I think it's called a Simplex, made by Nocta Macro. So I went to sunny Cleethorpes the other day and tried it out over the Christmas holidays. Went to try it out at Cleethorpes. Found a few things which I am now sort of putting in front of a camera for the big reveal in a moment. So just bear with me a second. But yeah, we found a few things. Are you ready for what we found at Cleethorpes? Ready? Right, here we go. The big reveal. Ta-da! Yeah, this is what we found at Cleethorpes. We found a toy car, which is probably the best thing we found actually. An Allen key and some coins. Now I found some rubbish as well on the beach. Of course, I found things like crisp packets and stuff like that, you know, and tin cans and things like that. Anything that's metal, particularly if it's got any aluminium content in it, as tin cans and crisp packets often do have. We did find some of that, but not as many as I would expect. We were right down the south end of Cleethorpes. And it was surprisingly good. It was surprisingly clean. There wasn't a lot of rubbish there at all. But these are the things we found. And what's really interesting about this is these coins. Now, these are modern coins. But they've come out as if they've been under the sea for about 500 years or something. I don't know if you can see this, if I can get this on the camera. But this is a penny. Okay, this is a modern penny, and just look at the state of it. Okay, can you see that? And while I'm doing it, I'll do it with a 5p as well. You get that on the camera? That, believe it or not, is a modern 5p. And you see these rusty things, you think, well, coins don't rust, you think, don't you? Well, I've got news for you. They do rust. Coins do rust now. The reason for it is, a few years ago, well, up until a few years ago, coins could not rust. They also were not attracted to a magnet because there was no iron or steel in them. Now though, to make coins cheaper, they have a core of steel basically, and then are coated with various things. You know, they've got like an electroplated coating on them, and of course that coating wears off, and that's when things like this happen, like have happened to these, and that's when you get them in this sort of state, when that coating wears off. So this begs a question. When you find old coins and stuff, as we have throughout history, I mean, people go out metal detecting and find coins from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Roman coins are actually quite common. But are we going to lose our modern coinage? Is our heritage going to disappear in a few hundred years' time, or 1,000 years' time, when somebody goes metal detecting? These aren't going to be around, these modern coins, because look at the state of that already. So it makes you wonder what's going to happen to our coins, what's going to happen to history for metal detectors and that. There's going to become a time when they don't find coins anymore, at least when they don't find old coins anymore, because what will then be termed as old coins will be what's now new coins, and they've just disintegrated. So yeah, I think that's quite a sad thing. They did it basically because the things like copper and that they were making coins out of, until they made this change a few years back, it basically got more than the value of the coins. If you think of a 2p is quite a big coin, and the value of the copper and things in a 2p coin was actually more than the coin was worth at one point. So that is why they did it. And if you notice now, the old versions of the coins, you think a penny and a 2p hasn't changed, have they? Other coins have got smaller, you know, 10p's and 5p's and that. But since decimalisation, a penny and a 2p haven't changed. No, they've changed the design slightly, but you still use old ones. Well, up until a few years ago, and basically up until almost when they did this change, all coins said new pence on them, and basically, I think it was a few years before they changed to the steel core in the coins. They changed it from new pence to whatever the denomination was. So on a penny it says 1 pence or 1 penny, and on a 2p it says 2 pence, and on a 10p it says 10 pence, rather than saying new pence. Well, if you use that as a rough guide to when they became steel cored, look for any that say new pence on them anymore, and you won't find any in your change, or you will find very, very, very few. And I think, I don't know, I'd be interested to know if anybody does know, but I think the Royal Mint have gone through them all, and the coins that are actually made out of something a bit more valuable, they've filtered them all out, because it's easy to do, of course, because the ones that are more valuable are not magnetic. These are magnetic. So yeah, I think they have surreptitiously withdrawn all the sort of 1970s and 1980s pennies and 2p coins. So if you find one, get in touch with us. Get on the website and send us a message through the contact us on the website. It's andyshed.coalpress.net. I would be very interested to know how many 1970s and 1980s pennies and 2 pences you find in your change in your day-to-day lives over the coming weeks and months. I'd be fascinated, and we'll get the results on here. So check your change, folks. But yeah, this is what we found anyway while we were out there on the the beach at Cleethorpes. I've got to say a big thank you to everybody that came up and said hello at Cleethorpes as well. Loads of people came up and said, hello, have you found much, how are you doing, and that. So hi to everybody we met at Cleethorpes, some of whom are probably watching this channel now. Right, so we'll crack on, shall we? I'll move my fines out of the way, and we will we'll crack on and do something else. Bear with me 1 second. I've got to find somewhere to put them all now. Lovely neck. So much stuff. I'll just put those up there. I'll put those up there to remind us of what we've not found. Right. As I say, it's a fairly quick show today, but one thing that I did want to show you is this, because for the phone people out there, this turned up the other day, and this is a fairly unusual thing. I never quite know which way to go with this when I do this. This is a Teller 8782R. 8782. So it's basically a 782 with an 8 in the front of it, because it's got the new style plug-in socket on it. But what is the thing about a Teller 782 or an 8782, I hear you ask? I'll show you on here. Well, the thing about one of these is it's push button, and those of you with a keen eye for these sort of things will see that it's got a star and a hash key, which means it's tone dialing, not pulse. It makes the tone noises and doesn't do it by pulse dialing. So you can use one of these, what basically looks like a 746 with buttons on. You can use one of these on modern tone dialing exchanges and that. So that means you can also use them with ATAs, analog terminal adapters, that are not pulse dialing compatible. Now some are pulse dialing compatible, and we've gone through this before, that we have pulse dialing compatible ones here because we're connected to the vintage telephone network called CNET. But this will connect using an ATA that is only tone dialing. So if you're in one of those areas that